On an incredible Tuesday, February 6th, 2024. I hope that you had a robust weekend. We'll go into it a little bit, but I'll tell you this, the tide is rising, okay? The tide is rising. I'll plant a seed today, and then I'll go a bit more deeper into it in 2 weeks because there's no team meeting next week with a variety of different awards events for people to celebrate their 2023. Next week, Tuesday in North Stillman, pay attention. So here we go. But mission, vision, values, beliefs, and perspectives as we started out. One of the things that I do want to call out and lead with is we are here sitting here on February 6th during Black History Month is equity opportunities for all. And I want to challenge your thoughts and challenge your actions here. Okay. A little bit as we are celebrating Black History Month in the month of February. And someone challenged me very early in my career as I was learning how to lead through others, that leadership is teaching people how to think. And I've said this many times before to this group, my job a lot of times isn't so much as to tell you what to do or how to do it or, this, that, or the other. It's to challenge your thoughts, which ultimately creates action. And the way I get you to think and the way I challenge you is what allows you to say, should I be doing things differently? Or can I attack my business differently? Or whatever it is that may be. And so as I think through what is challenge your thoughts and challenge your actions sitting here on February 4th, I want to plant a little seed with you, okay? And I think everybody would agree, everyone deserves to own a home, okay? Everyone deserves to own a home. And why? It provides incredible access to resources because it helps people realize their potential, okay? It helps people access to generational wealth. What do I mean? It's like a forced savings plan. How you build equity in a home allows that you access to generational wealth, allows access to schools that people desire, allows access to good paying jobs. And in 2020, Morgan Stanley did a big study around homeownership gaps take a massive toll on the economy. If you just think about it from a macroeconomic standpoint, friends, 5 million qualified buyers from owning a home. It costs 800,000 jobs within the US. It prevented an additional 400 billion in tax revenue realized, right? And the reason I bring this up is last week I shared with you a little bit around some of the work that I've been doing with Axe Housing. And Axe Housing big mission is to help people get access to homes, right? Mainly Central City, Milwaukee. And the byproduct of that in their thesis, which has been tested and proven a lot over time in the, I don't know, maybe 30 years that the Axe organization has been in Milwaukee, is this, that those who own homes, their healthcare metrics improve dramatically. Crime statistics improve dramatically. Educational statistics improve dramatically. And so as we think about where we live in a city that has many problems, and oftentimes I get asked in the community, what do I think that we need to do? Or how do we help improve our community to make Milwaukee the best place to live, work, and play? And my answer is pretty relatively the same very often. There's a lot of ways you can help people. There's a lot of organizations that help people. And as I've learned through a variety of organizations like Habitat or Axe or some of these other things, is the impetus of foundational change starts with homeownership and the stability that provides. So I've shared this statistic with you before, and it's a pretty shocking statistic, but there's also a correlative statistic that's also as shocking, okay? In the United States, the homeownership between whites and blacks is 75% for whites, 44% for blacks. Now let's take a look in southeastern Wisconsin. Whites are 72%, blacks are 26%. And if you dig further, which I don't get these statistics very often, and I think that there's a variety of reasons for that, the gap between just point blank, being as blunt as possible, white agent representation and black agent representation is even more significantly staggering, right? And so Friday, last week, it was the first Friday of February, and we've talked a little bit around For the Culture and FTC and how FTC, what its purpose is. And its purpose is to elevate the black agent and helping agents of color elevate what they do to help elevate our communities and serve, quite frankly, an underserved population within our community, right? And last week, it celebrated the 1-year anniversary of this group. They put it together in February of 2023, right? And in total, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 people came together. And I shared this, Shawnee, with the group on Friday. 9 people came together to create, I would consider it to be somewhat of a grassroots campaign. And the thesis was, and Shawnee, you and I have had this conversation many of times, how do we elevate Black homeownership in terms of elevating the financial stability, the crime stability, the educational stability, the health stability, but also how do we help people elevate within our industry, elevate the average price point in which they work in? How do we elevate how many transactional units they do? How do we elevate how they make their income? And so we had this theory, and really it's Shawnee's kind of baby, and along with a variety of others, Verche, Leah Bird, where nothing great has ever been achieved without a grassroots campaign. And if you fundamentally understand what a grassroots campaign is, at the most fundamental level, it is nurturing the soil so that roots can grow. Okay? If you understand what a grassroots campaign is, it's nurturing the soil. So what are we doing? We're nurturing the soil to allow seeds to sprout. And so last week, Friday, we had 50 to 60 agents here on the 1-year anniversary. And it was a great conversation. And it was nurturing the soil through a grassroots campaign of how do we pour into people that totally aligns with our mission, vision, values, beliefs, and perspectives, right? And how we help elevate our communities to make a difference or an impact, one person, one agent, one homeowner at a time, right? And so last week, it was an incredible display as we sit here in February during Black History Month around how do we nurture the soil for those that are in underserved populations or underserved agent counts or underserved a variety of different ways to help elevate what we do. And I think this epitomizes a lot of things I talk about around our mission, vision, values, beliefs, and perspectives, and talking a lot around the concept of Havra and building community and this whole concept of how do we elevate, educate and elevate what it is that we do, right? And so I wanted to lead with that today, sitting here in February to the FTC group. To say, it starts with one. You know, I say this to people all the time who have really big goals. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. How do you impact change? One agent, one homeowner, one person at a time. And it just, unfortunately, change takes time. But the more we nurture the soil and we provide opportunities for people and we allow areas of, you know, how we can then fertilize the soil so that roots can grow, that's our mission, our purpose, and how we provide equity and opportunities for all. So I just wanted to give a shout out to that group and those that showed up on a Friday night at 5:30 for pouring into yourselves, and for the group, you know, Shawnee, Verche. I also have to give a shout out to Shar Borg and Angela Walters. Shar's over at Compass, phenomenal agent, works mainly in the North Shore. Angela, she's over at EXP, was the first Black woman chairperson of the GMAR. I believe that was 2 years ago, and she was Realtor of the Year last year for GMAR. And so Shawnee went on a limb and said, hey, this is what I'm doing. Shar, Angela, will you show up? And they're like, sweet, let's do it. And they poured into the group for about 2 hours on a Friday night. And I just wanted to use that as an example of how we can help elevate our communities and build upon the community that we have here that's incredibly special. So shout out to that group. It was an incredible display. So. Next up, Axe Housing. I shared this with you guys last week. Today at 11:30, if you'd like to join me, I believe there's about 28 people from KW that have signed up. If you'd like to participate, the Affordable Homeownership Town Hall last year was an incredible discussion. I'll be there down at Marquette University at Eckstein Hall, the beautiful building right on the curve of 4394 corridor. If you'd like to participate, the world is run by those who show up. Michael Gossman, the CEO of Axe, is an incredible human, incredible person. And my one piece of advice for you, if you get to know him or learn about his mission in life, just don't find yourself at the poker table with him. He used to be a professional poker player, also a Whitefish Bay grad. Incredibly smart man, wicked smart, doing incredible things for our city. But he's hosting this afternoon here. So if you'd like to participate, feel free to show up. All right, with that, a few finance and operations updates for you. First of all, I'm sharing this with you because we get questions almost every single day until March 15th or April 15th. So I know that I have to tell you something 9 times before it sticks in. Your profit share 1099 should have shown up to your house within the last week. You got a paper copy. You can also download a copy through My KW. If you select resources, then profit share 1099s. Okay, that showed up. 2, your commission 1099s should have also showed up in the mail. Those showed up within the last week. They came via paper copy. Make sure that you're checking your mail so that you're getting access to your 1099s. 3, your expense reports provided via email from someone on the leadership team, gave you all of your expense detail for you to write off from your 2023 taxes. So if you have not received that email or you weren't paying attention to your email, make sure that you look for that, as someone on the leadership team sent you your expense report for all of 2023 so that you don't pay Uncle Sam too much money. Make sense? Beautiful. Another operations update for you, and this is probably the worst part of my job, but it's a necessary evil. I have to give you a notice that agent invoices will be increasing effective February of 2024 invoices. Okay. And I have to help you understand the rationale for the change. In the spirit, and I'm in the spirit, true spirit of win-win partnerships, I try to be as transparent as possible with regards to financials, fees, and invoicing. Okay. My job is to study where the market is relative to the expenses that we bear to run the brokerage business. That also means that I have to take a hard look at how does Shore West operate their financials? How does Coldwell Banker operate their financials? How does Remax, EXP, this, that, and the other? And guess what, guys? I'll just give you a little secret in this business. There are no secrets. Everyone thinks they're on a special deal. There is no special, at all other companies, right? Because we're a totally open book company. There are no special deals. So our goal, and we've always approached this since day one that we opened KW, our goal is to make sure that you pay for what you utilize on a monthly basis and not stick agents with risk, okay, with one large time fee or per transactional fees, okay? Let me help you understand what that means. Many of our competitors or peers within the industry, in the brokerage community, they charge a lot of ancillary fees on a per transactional basis. So while an agent may believe they're on a 90-10 split, there's additional fees associated to it that really gets you to a net effective split around a variety of different ways. They also charge transactional fees, even if they have caps. There's resources fees on percentage of things. I know Ashley's nodding because she used to run 2 different brokerages. There's a variety of ways in which fees are charged. We have always, and the other big one within our industry is that errors and emissions insurance at most brokerages is charged as a 1 annualized lump sum cost. The challenge with that, in my belief, as it relates to invoicing, is that if someone decides to make a transition, that lump sum cost is paid for. It's a sunk cost, whether you utilize the service or not. I've always believed that it's a win-win partnership. You should only pay for what you utilize. So in the event that, for us, we annualize the cost of errors and omission insurance over a 12-month period and lump it into the monthly agent invoice. Make sense? So instead of charging you, I don't know if it's like $500 or $600 in June, which is what most companies do, we just spread it out $45 per month over a 12-month period. Make sense? So I'm sharing this with you so that you understand the context of where the agent invoice is headed from a total cost perspective. So what caused increases? I don't think this is going to be any sort of shock to you. Legal, in the last 2 years, with the advent of the amount of waived inspections that have happened, my job has become a part-time attorney. Now I say that tongue in cheek, but there is a lot more legal and compliance costs that we've associated to help you mitigate risk. The other thing is technology has increased substantially. in the last 2 to 3 years, where we've tried to take bite-sized pieces of the apples to help mitigate the increase. And we've taken on more of the increase than passing on to the agents. And then also, this was something that is totally out of our control. Metro MLS took an increase of $4 per month starting in January last month. And that was voted on by the board level. So where is this going in 2024? The agent invoice will be increasing on a monthly basis starting in February to $162. Okay, on an itemized breakout, this is how it will break down. Agent technology makes up $60 of the $162. This includes your access to all G Suite resources, Command. By the way, we pay on a per agent basis on a monthly to utilize showing time. I know that's a hot button topic right now with aligned showings versus showing times, but that's also part of the technology fees that are associated to it. Errors and omissions insurance is there. Metro MLS went up to $39. We have what we call compliance for various legal services and attorney retainers that we have that agents are able to utilize when they find themselves in sticky situations. And the Sunshine Fund has been there since day one that a lot of people have had the benefit to. And we aren't increasing that. It's just always been there at $3. So the invoice starting in February will be going up to $162 on a monthly basis. The only other impact that this has on about 20% of our total associates is if you do pay with your credit card. We historically had only been charging $5 a month. We're going to a percentage fee. So it's going to be a 3% surcharge if you're utilizing for credit cards moving forward in 2024. If you're part of the 20% that still utilizes their credit card for the agent invoice and you want to switch to direct deposit, totally cool. There's no additional fees for that. Just reach out to the MCA department to help you get that set up. Not the coolest topic, but trust me, it sucks. I spent about 60 days on looking at all of this, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but hopefully I bring more good news to your life than bad news, and is what it is.
For showing time and we're not getting what we need out of the line, can we still use it?
Yes, showing time is not going away anytime soon.
That's yay.
So showing time is not going away anytime soon. Part of what to be totally transparent with you, our fees increased on a lot of this stuff in October. We withheld increasing agent fees until February because we were trying to figure out what was going on with, like, for example, if showing time went away, it would have saved us about $1,200 a month. And we would have passed that savings on to the agent without having to increase it nearly as much as we had to in 24. But then when a week or two ago, when they announced that showing time was staying, that was a piece of our expense budget that we had to recalculate back into the agent invoice, if that makes sense. Cool. Any other questions, guys? Like, I'm a totally open book. You're welcome to shoot darts at me, or you're welcome to shoot me a text or shoot me an email, or give me a phone call. I'm happy to answer. Look, I'd rather you come to me than anybody else on the leadership team with it, right? And so I want to diffuse. If there's any questions, feel free to reach out to me directly. Cool? Yes. Yes. Direct, same way you get paid with your commissions, you can set up direct withdrawal. Yep. Or a debit card. Yes. Thank you. Cool. All right. Moving on. With that, I'm flipping it over to lean into Lindsay for Tech Tuesday.
Hello, good morning, everybody. So as I kind of teased about a month ago, we've got new marketing content, and one of the more exciting things that I'm really excited to roll out is the Community Pulse magazine. So you may have started to see these kind of trickle throughout all 4 market centers last week, but it's the ultimate guide to Keller Williams Milwaukee. And so I really wanted to kind of put something together that really showcases what we're all about, as well as something that you can share with your clients in terms of what the market looked like last year and some statistics with some of the 4-county metro Milwaukee areas. So what does this include exactly? So again, it's your quintessential guide to Keller Williams Milwaukee. It's going to go through who we are. So our Keller Williams Milwaukee statistics, our culture, our communities, our mission, vision, values, and our 2023 success. It includes, again, the 4-county metro Milwaukee areas. So descriptions, breakdown of some of the municipality stats. So comparing units sold 2022 versus 2023, average home price and days on market. So it'll go through all of those listed out. This has been added to the marketing concierge. So if you would like something like this personalized with your headshot, your logo, your contact information, your bio, and you can also add in your preferred vendor partners as well. So the QR code is going to take you to the marketing concierge. It's been added amongst all of the other marketing assets that you can go in and request and be personalized.
Question?
Yes, question.
Is it also available in an electronic form?
It is available as an electronic magazine as well, yes. Yep. So very similar to the listing and buyer presentations, when we go in and customize those, they're also available as a digital link too that you can send out to your clients. So same exact concept with this Community Pulse magazine. So as I mentioned, examples are available to view in the offices. Like all other marketing materials that are part of the marketing concierge, all digital assets are completely 100% free. And printed magazines are available. So if you want to get a magazine customized with your information and you would like these printed as well, when you go in and submit a form, one of the questions that is asked is if you would like these professionally printed, and then that notifies us. We'll connect you with a local printer to get these printed, and we'll provide, pricing and other details as well. So any questions regarding this, please feel free to contact me. But really, I want this to be utilized to share with your clients, to other co-brokes. And it's just a really great way to kind of go through and talk about what we're all about. All right, just really quick, unless I'm passing a few out in our North Shore office right now, but just to kind of give you a brief overview of what this looks like and kind of go through some pages here. So check these out in the offices if you haven't already. And again, questions, let me know. Yes, other question.
Is there a rough cost estimate for a piece?
Yep, pricing kind of varies per printer. So I don't have that off the top of my head. Obviously, the more you order, the less per magazine. All right, finally, we're continuing on with February trainings. Last week I mentioned a ton of different updates to Command, new feature enhancements, one of those being smarter smart plans. So if you're interested in learning more about the new smart plan interface and the workflow, we're going to be training on that this Thursday at 2 o'clock, final time at 2 o'clock because of Ignite. And that's on Zoom as always. So check that out. That's it. Thanks.
Sweet. All right, here we go. Also, anybody been paying attention to the news lately? So, good news and great news. Okay, here's the truth. Last week, you should have received an email from Gary Keller in advance of this hitting the news. Keller Williams settled the Sitzer Burnett case. Why is this important to you? Okay, here's what I didn't say about what kept me up at night back in whenever this was. Okay. I wasn't worried about the change in the industry because we will evolve and figure it out, and we will help you stay ahead of the curve as to how you evolve within the industry. What kept me up at night is this was the tip of the iceberg, and quite frankly, the smallest of the class action lawsuits that had already been filed. The biggest one was set to be heard in Illinois in 2024. It's called Morrill. Morrill was nationwide. The Sitzer case just made it through the court system faster than Morrill did. Okay. What kept me up at night about this? Here's what you needed to know. What I didn't say. There was no insurance for this. So, and brokerages like us or Shore West or Coldwell Banker or anybody else locally were also getting named. Also, if you didn't know this, there were large teams. So imagine you're a rainmaker on a team, and all of a sudden you get looped into a class action lawsuit that you have no insurance for. Okay. I wasn't going to spread that fear or that news, but that was the reality of what we were facing last fall. So we did a lot of things and we made a lot of pivots quickly. And I know we made 30-day pivots and this, that, and the other, because we were trying to assess risk and liability and how do we mitigate the risk. The settlement that they reached last week, it was a global settlement that removes all brokerages, all teams, everybody from all this class action stuff. Those suits are still going on because there are brokerages nationally and as well as the National Association of Realtors that are still involved in those suits as they have not reached global settlements. Why does this matter for you? For a lot of you that have been paying attention from a legal standpoint, this should give you peace of mind in terms of confidence moving forward, in terms of assessing risk as it relates to class action lawsuits. Now, yes, the industry is going to change. Yes, we will be ready for it. And yes, we will help you get ahead of it. But the beautiful thing and the power of this message was they were able to get and remove a lot of us that were sitting on the front lines of waiting for the next shoe to fall. And in Wisconsin, that shoe had not fallen yet. And it was a big, big day for those of us associated to Keller Williams. I don't know, to be honest with you and be totally frank, I don't know much more than that, other than I was able to sleep really, really well last week, Thursday. And I'm sure I will get more information as more information comes out as to what this means. There will be some changes as it relates to this settlement. You know, like one of the things is like, you have to be a member of NAR and you have to be a member of this and you gotta be, I don't really know what that means for us yet at the local level, to be honest with you. So I've had a few questions as it relates to like, how are we responding to it? I actually don't know yet. And that's just an honest answer. So I will get more information, but this was a big announcement within the brokerage community that it's a big announcement. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys were all aware that that came out. If you didn't get the email, you didn't see Inman, you don't read the Wall Street Journal, and you just kept putting your head down and doing what you do best. Yes, Ross.
So this was $70 million to go towards
All plaintiffs in all cases.
that felt.
Yeah, if you want my unfiltered opinion, 40% of it's going to go to the attorneys who brought it, and the average homeowner is going to get less than $100 per homeowner. Tells you exactly what you need to know about our current legal system, but I won't get into personal opinions. Yeah. Anyways, moving on. Steph Connard with compliance.
Nice to be here at North Shore. I don't have much for you guys today, but first of all, Joni and I just wanted to let everybody know that we've got formal contract training back in February. We took a pause with Ignite. So just on our calendar, February 12th, condo listings and offers. So just highlighting the differences between condo listing agreement and the condo offer to purchase. And then February 19th, buyer agency and commission. And, you know, one thing that we've commented on is in light of this like litigation, it's just going to make us better in terms of how we present our value to our clients. So we really want to focus on like how we can craft that message to our buyers, especially. So I'm going to go over that on February 19th. February 26th, we're going to do some offer strategies in this still yet competitive marketplace. So we're on Zoom every Monday at 12 p.m. And then the link from that, of course, is from kwrealtymke.com. All right, next up, I just wanted to quickly highlight this too, just keeping in line with showing opportunities that Axe Housing is bringing forth to us all. This Friday, there is a seminar, the Community Partner Seminar, learning about how to connect buyers to their services, which are HUD-approved home buyer counseling, financial coaching, and home rehab for foreclosure purchases. They do offer this every month, actually, but this Friday, they've got 6 spots available, and you can reach out to me if you want to join us. I think there's a handful of us who are going on Friday, so reach out to me if you're interested. That's from 10 o'clock to 11:30 on Friday. And I got to nerd out a little bit on this because I'm excited that I get to kind of talk about this. The right to cure, I just wanted to remind everybody, we had a handful of questions about this over the weekend, and I'm excited about this because it means that there is an opportunity for buyers to not necessarily include the right to cure in their transactions and their offers to purchases, which has not been the case for a very long time. So just as a reminder, the concept of right to cure, it's roadmap for who gets to quote unquote kill the deal in a transaction, is attached to the home inspection contingency and the appraisal contingency, as we know. And then I wanted to highlight this point most specifically. So if the seller is not given the right to cure, just as a reminder, as a buyer, and as an agent, we are still sending over a notice of defects to the other side. And that is what is essentially ending the transaction. So just a reminder, if there is no right to cure, that is how we communicate that to the other side. And then again, if seller is given the right to cure, then it becomes the seller's choice on curing or releasing the buyer from the transaction. So, which has been, the case the last how many years. So, that's all I got. Training and education.
Stop.
Good morning. Lots of announcements today. I have more. February training calendar, and I want to talk about something happening this Thursday. We have our productivity coaching meeting. It's really going to be an opportunity to get together with your peers, meet other newly licensed agents that have recently joined KW. We like to do this about once a year, kind of reset and go over some of the new tools we have, introduce Kim, who's new to our program, and walk through some upcoming PC trainings and opportunities and changings to our offerings. So if you got the calendar invite, please, please, please accept it or reject it. Let us know if you can be there or not. You'll be getting another reminder from Kim later this week. One thing I really wanted to highlight that's coming new to our training, which will actually help a lot of everybody on this, even in Lake Country and everything, we're going to start pulling a lot of the things that are North Shore specific off of team meeting so that we can keep this team meeting moving and just talk about things that pertain to the wider group. So after the team meetings, we're going to be doing the weekly download. This was introduced to us by Ross, who's going to be helping lead the charge on this. We're going to bring a lot of this stuff back into the room. We have a full room here. So we're going to start talking a lot about some excludeds, some coming soons, bringing the conversation back to all of you and an opportunity to connect with your peers. Yay! I'm going to be pulling them up. We're going to be going over it, yes, like that, and then giving them to Willis to put on the spreadsheet so that everybody gets them, but bringing it more back into that dialogue and conversation that I know a lot of us have been missing. So we heard your feedback and we're excited about the weekly download. We're also going to be talking about trainings, events, happy hours, things that are specific to this location only, to not bog down everybody else who's having to hear about our stuff and celebrate it here in the room. So the other really great thing that Ross is going to be bringing to that group is after a few announcements and logistics, we're going to be doing the weekly download. The weekly download is going to be really helpful to both seasoned agents and new agents to learn about what's happened in the marketplace the last 7 days. So did you have a buyer consultation? What did the buyers want to talk about? Did you have a listing appointment? What are their concerns? So whether you had one or didn't have one, you're getting that information and you're getting that feedback so you can go out and better serve your clients. We're talking about, did you go on any showings? What was the feedback you got on price? What are some of their concerns? Let's talk about what you're hearing again in the marketplace to leverage our scale and have all that shared information so that we can be better, to our people. What are the conversations you're having with co-brokes? Did you receive any offers? And what was the feedback you got from your co-brokes, your buyers and your sellers with those offers that you wrote so that we can help one another? And last but not least, we're going to be hearing from a lender weekly to talk about what we're seeing with rates. What are the pre-approvals that are coming through and what helped the offer get accepted? If the buyer got accepted, what was it that you used in your offer from a lender side to get the accepted offer now that we're seeing, still multiple offers? So really excited about it. Thank you, Ross, for bringing that to us. Thank you, everybody, for sharing your feedback and that you're wanting more of that in-person community. So really excited about that. We are starting it not next week because it's awards, but the following week. So hope to see a lot of you there for it. We're going to start out with it on Zoom. So if you're on the Zoom, just stay back. It'll be on the same channel. but the idea is for it to be in person. So we're gonna just kind of have it a little hybrid to see if it's something that you find valuable to come in for, and we'll go from there. So continue to provide your feedback. This is something you guys asked for, and it's your meeting, it's your market center. So keep the feedback coming. Janine's back, PC's back. February 15th, Amanda's class isn't happening on Tuesday simply because awards, but she will be back that following Tuesday. So Janine is back with productivity on February 15th. I hear there's a field trip, so I'm sure she will share that information in the mandatory meeting.
Yeah.
So we'll see you then. Really excited about these two events that we're having coming up here for those who are thinking about creating a team and those who are looking at expanding their team. So kind of a two-part little series here. If you want to build a team, if you're thinking about building a team, we are having Wednesday, February 14th at 11 o'clock at the Wauwatosa location to learn from people who've used the MREA, who've done their own thing, who've had success, what their team agreements look like, how they built a team, kind of a panel Q&A type session to learn some more about growing a team. And in tandem with that, just to save the date, we'll have an opportunity to register soon. Right now, we're just asking teams if they want to participate in this event that's happening at the Zufari Conference Center on March 11th. Another Opportunity Knocks. Opportunity Knocks is kind of like a speed dating opportunity for those who are looking to join a team to walk around, meet, mingle, and for teams to meet new talent. So whether you're looking to hire someone in an administrative role, in an agent role, anything, please reach out to anyone on leadership. We can get you details on how to have a place there. And this is open to all brokers. So if you have co-brokes, if you have, anybody that's interested in joining a team, this isn't just KW. So spread the word, feel free to invite them. Equal opportunity for all. So then we have family reunion. I looked this morning, we have 59 people in Milwaukee going to family reunion this year. I think that's the biggest I've seen in the 6 years I've been here. Not too late. There are still tickets. Look for an email from your team leaders this week if you are going. We have some details on some events and things that are happening while we're there that you're welcome to come to. Just to have some things going on. Family reunion in Vegas. Last but not least, awards. Charlie hit on this. North Shore and TOSA's is a week from today down here in the office. And then we have a save the date. We have KW Lake Country's is Thursday, the 15th from 9 to 11 in the Lake Country office. And that's all I've got. Thank you.
One quick thing on the weekly download. I'd be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to the Lake Country Group. The Lake Country Group's been doing that for about 2 years. They call it the Lake Country Meetup. The power of that room is incredible. Everybody shows up, everybody shares, everybody masterminds on what it is that they saw. It's 15 to 20 minutes. But it's the power of what it is that we saw that was happening in Lake Country, of building the bonds within those communities and how we're helping people elevate their fiduciary is what we said. God damn it, we got to get these guys paying attention on the east side. So I got to give a shout out to the Lake Country crew because they've been doing it for their own way for 2 years and it's been powerful. So stay tuned for that. Sweet. All right. I had a thought, but I'm going to share it at the end. All right. Market perspective. What do we got and where is it going? Last week, I shared with you my thoughts on standards and goals and what does your trajectory look like based on where the market is headed. And you can have relative results and you can have absolute results. Okay. Many people had their best years ever. I've talked about that many times before, and you can buck the trend of the industry. Don't use you have reasons or results, as the old bold law says. All right. And we talked a little bit around how there was 25,000 new listings and 39,000 closed units. What are your goals and how are you going to achieve them? Make your goals your standards. When they are your minimum standard, you find goals become easy. So my question to you is, what is your standard? Right? I talked about that. Now, what is going on in the market? Okay. New unit inventory. This is what I want you to understand. December and January is the lowest 2 months for new unit inventory in any given year. It's following the seasonal cycles. So I'm showing you the latest 24 weeks going back to August 21st in terms of what new inventory looks like, so you can understand kind of where we sit right now. The good news is where we sit right now is the impetus of how the tide starts to rise. Okay. And you're starting to see it. So new unit inventory, if you just look, the last 3 weeks was 308, 333, and 326 across the 5-county metro area. What's interesting to this, the reason why I know the tide is rising is buyer demand has really picked up. This is sales absorption rates. This is the percentage of inventory that goes under contract in a given week. What I'm starting to see is a more significant pop in demand, despite relatively still low new inventory to the market. So some of the things that had been sitting on the market in the fall, we're now starting to see some of that, let's just say, inventory that had been sitting for a little while start to go because the buyer demand had popped. And we're seeing this through the sales absorption rates. The last 6 months, the average on any given week was 8% of the inventory would go under contract. The last 3 weeks, we have outperformed the latest 24-week sales absorption rates. That tells me demand is increasing. Okay. That correlates then into total units that went under contract on a given week. Interestingly enough, last week there was 350 units that went under contract, but only 309 homes that came to the market, right? So it's telling you that demand is picking up as we head into February, March, April, May. Now, I'll give you a little bit of a deeper dive in 2 weeks as relative to how the first month of I don't have January statistics yet sitting here on February 6th, but I'm going to look at January so that give you guys an idea of where the market's headed. My general sense, I feel like we're in a very good spot for a good nice, not a huge, but a nice little bump in 2024, as I've talked about over the last several weeks. Now, with the increase in demand and still yet waiting for that big pop in new inventory, what has this done? It continues to put pressure on total inventory. Last week, there was 3,368 units for sale on the market. That's about 1,800 less units than the latest 24-week average. So that's about we've seen a third. If you consider this, since October, which was the peak of total inventory in 23, we've seen a 33% drop in total inventory available, and yet demand continues to rise as rates continue to fall. So it's going to continue to put pressure on price appreciation. Interestingly, also, and I'll give a shout out to Lindsay, if you take a look at that Communities magazine, she did a ton of research that if you look at the price appreciation in a variety of different communities where you all live, work, and play, there's some incredible data to help as a great touch point in your lead generation to talk about the net equity gain that people have had on their balance sheets last year because of what pricing did, despite what the media wanted to portray nationally of what was going on. There was a healthy price appreciation in southeastern Wisconsin, depending on the community you lived in. I would foresee that we will continue to see that based on supply and demand of what we're seeing right now, early indications in 2024. Sound good? Beautiful. With that, I'd be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to 2 people. Today marks Lindsay Vranick's 5-year anniversary with KW. The beautiful thing about Lindsay and a variety of our leadership team is we are celebrating our 10th year in operation. And the fact that someone like Lindsay has been with us for 5 of those 10 years is a true testament to not only Lindsay putting up with my BS, but also the opportunities that we try to continue to provide for our leadership teams, and knowing that consistency is important for you as to who to go to and what to do. I understand, having lived through a lot of change in other locations, I know how challenging that can be. So Lindsay, thank you. Appreciate it. The other person I got to give a shout out to is Sheriff Reed. Sheriff Reed retired from a local, let's just say, peer of ours, after many, many years of service. If you don't know Sheriff Reed's story, phenomenal, incredible woman who led an office down the street from me. And I think the world of Sheriff Reed. She has an incredible husband, Rick, who's an awesome person. And when Sheriff Reed retired, I called her and said, Sheriff Reed, I don't think you're ready to be retired. And she said, Charlie, screw you. I'm not coming back to work. And I'm definitely not coming to work for you. And I said, Joni, you have more left in the tank to give. She's an incredibly giver. And we've been incredibly grateful for the 2 years that she's been giving into our community. And Sheriff Reed, 3 years? My apologies, 3 years. She will have as many years as she wants to continue to pour into our community. She will always have a job with our group. So Sheriff Reed, thank you for 3 incredible years. With that, guys. You are free to go have an incredible day. I hope to see many of you at Marquette University. Lake Country crew, I'll let you jump over to the Lake Country meetup. Guys, thanks for showing up. Have a beautiful day.